This is Tyra Omilade, your sister friend, spiritual guide, and coach. And y'all know I love helping the sisters align with their life purpose using the power of ancient wisdom and the goddess centered lifestyle. How is everybody? Um, I went live on Instagram not too long ago, well, a couple of hours ago, and I was like, oh my gosh, I said there that I was going to come live here on YouTube, just to kind of talk about what's going on. Let me get my oracle out. Let me see here. Which one am I going to use? I'm going to show y'all. Hey, Eileen. I don't know if I can turn the camera around. Which oracle will I choose? I think I'm going to go with this one for now. Yeah. Probably will come on. Oh, yeah, I'll come on in the morning actually and do mindfulness with you all. But yeah, I just want to come on. It's interesting. Oh, where's my earring? Where'd my earring go? Oh, there it is. Yeah, I know I have to. I'm not like fully cute, but I can't be just torn up on here. Okay, got to have the earrings. But yeah, I um, had gotten up this morning and thought to myself, huh, Mars moves into Aries today. So Mars is in Aries now. Yay, yay. The last time Mars was in Aries, it stayed there for like 5 months. I was just like, Mars, just move on, bro. Move on. So it's back in its home sign. This is so good. It's like definitely a sign of new beginnings. Anytime the planets start hitting up Aries, it represents, something new happening because that's what that sign has to do with. But this morning I thought, it's interesting. Nothing really has happened. Nothing's really popped off like I thought it would with Mars moving from Pisces into Aries, which is a big deal. I don't all the time hear astrologers talking about it, but those who are in the Vedic, really study Vedic. Eileen, can you hear me okay? Who study the Vedic tradition, and I'm so tired, y'all. I just finished writing the newsletter and sent it out. So if you're on my email list, check it out. And I put in the bottom a grounding energy routine that you can do because I was like, ooh, I don't feel fully grounded. Okay, thank you, Mama. I appreciate you. So I decided to pull one out of my Goddess Toolkit and put in the newsletter for you all. But anyway, in Vedic astrology, there's this point called Gandanta. And Gandanta is definitely a karmic point, and it's something about like it's not as big of a deal when, let's say, the planets move from fire into earth. It's not as big as of a deal as water to fire. Those elements are so different. I think is what I remember reading, that it just, that 29th degree of the water signs, it's no joke, okay? It's no joke. And so we have Mars, the planet of war, and yeah, Vedic astrology is very interesting. It is the planet of war and weaponry and violence. Um, yeah, I mean, like it's a warrior planet. And for it to be on that karmic point is why, if you know what's happening in Texas, well, okay, in my newsletter, I wrote astrology doesn't cause anything. But those of us who know about this Gandanta point probably were looking around like, ain't nothing happened. And another thing about Aries or Mars is it's just like all of a sudden something can happen. So I know we were all kind of like, I wonder, like, oh, Mars is not going to create havoc? Okay. Because Mars is considered to be a malefic planet. So it didn't cause it, but astrology can predict this is like what the energy looks like. Now, how it manifests, that's on us. That is on us. So, broke my heart, broke my heart, broke my heart. When Jupiter moved from when Jupiter moved from where was Jupiter? Pisces into Aries. What had happened was, okay, I got too many open tabs. I gotta close some of these tabs. I just want to see when Venus moved in. I don't remember anything about Venus, but let's see what day Venus moved in. But anywho, when when Jupiter moved from Aries into, excuse me, from Pisces into Aries, that was when the leak came out about Roe versus Wade. And my prediction, so first of all, I want to say, and I just have to kind of like give myself at a girls as a solopreneur, business owner. So I just want to say I had told my inner circle because I was doing all these New Year workshops when I still had my membership. And I said to them, y'all, I'm not quite sure about this Jupiter moving over into Aries. Like, I think that we really need, it's exciting for Jupiter to be in Pisces. It's exciting for Jupiter to be in Aries. What I was concerned about was Jupiter moving from that 29th degree of Pisces into 0 degrees of Aries. And I couldn't quite figure out how it was going to happen. But at the very least, it was an indication that it could have something to do with justice and law, um, because that's what Jupiter is about. Jupiter has to do with judges, to be honest with you. And look at that. They got exposed. The judges of the United States Supreme Court got exposed. I don't know if anything else happened, in other parts of the world, but I do know what happened here. And so the one thing that I do want to tell y'all is Jupiter is going to go from Aries back into Pisces and then from Pisces back into Aries. It's going to go back into Pisces in October. I think that that is a time that we need to be cautious or don't be surprised because Jupiter is actually a social planet. Um, so don't be surprised if the one thing that I know about is other things, trust me, in other countries. I'm just here in the US. But the one thing that I know is that something will happen with that Roe v. Wade, something with the judges, not quite sure. But I can tell you, this thing is not over. It doesn't matter what the news people are talking about or not. It's not over. And then at the end of December, Jupiter will come from um, Pisces back into Aries. Trust and believe. Something is going to pop off. It will have to do with law. Let's see here. Jupiter, it has to do with things that, well, for sure the law, judges, um, it expands things. It maybe it's going to be like bring something to light regarding, it could have something to do with immigrants or refugees because that's what Pisces is about. Or it could have something to do with the body and working out or something like that. Maybe something will go down in the fitness world or maybe even with the military. Now that I think about it, maybe something with the law and the military will pop off, but it'll be on a greater level. It even could have something maybe to do with the situation that's been going on, with Ukraine and the other country. I have to kind of be careful how I talk on here because this platform does not belong to me. So let's see here. Venus moved into Pisces on April 5th. I can tell you April 5th. I don't remember anything about April 5th. Did anything happen for women? Since Venus has to do with women, did anything happen with women around April 5th? It's just too long. Too long ago. I'm probably gonna, let me see if I can. So the mass shootings don't have anything to do with the plan. Yes, they do. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that, okay, because I did leave one out. I'm glad you said that. So, yes, what I'm saying is that we cannot believe that the planets cause anything. It's more of, I'm going to have to unplug this, y'all. Because I can't shuffle. Hey, Peg. Can you hear me, Eileen? Yo, y'all. Oh my gosh. Me and my earrings. I have very sensitive ears. Let me lean into the microphone. And then I know I'm so deviating, but I just want to show y'all this bracelet. I love this bracelet so much. Eileen made this bracelet. It's like what I've been wearing to keep myself like super grounded. Cause them, but they can predict. I knew something was going to happen. I do think that today's shooting can be, the astrology spoke to it. The astrology spoke to it. I didn't predict that. I didn't make any predictions. I just knew if Mars is coming from Pisces going into Aries, something bad could happen. I knew that. Something karmic could happen. And so, of course, is bringing up, look at this. Pisces has to do with children. Aries has to do with, war and violence and weaponry. And this is definitely a problem that we have in the United States. Children getting shot up and the government doesn't do anything to make changes. So I don't know if Jupiter is going to become a part of that once it goes back into Pisces, since it brought out the Roe v. Wade. Now, Eileen, good point also about the planets, because my thing is that I could not focus on this. I'm telling you, I made a conscious choice. My heart, I said my ho'oponopono, but I could not focus on the shootings in Buffalo, because I was like, I'm going to be present for this once in a lifetime event for my son's graduation. But look at when they happened. I looked up the date today. May 14th. When was the eclipse? May 15th. Nobody could tell me that didn't have something to do with the eclipse. That it was like eclipse energy popping off. And what is it bringing up? Scorpio is like, it's going to be bringing up all the dirt. And that brought up a lot of stuff for Black people, I don't know what else happened in the rest of the world, but, well, I do think of some things that did, but anywho. Okay. Yes, this is one of the bracelets that Eileen made for me. I so love this bracelet. I wore it almost the whole time on my trip because, yeah. Yeah, Eileen already knows I'm a homebody. I'm a Taurus moon, baby. Okay, I'm gonna pull this one. Let's see what this one says. Pulling this for us. Who needs perspective? The infinite. Oof. Woo. It's too much, y'all. This is too much. We got to do something in this country. It's too much. This is ridiculous. But anywho, I wanted to come on and make sure I do my part to just kind of give it some context. You know, it's probably multifactorial. Like if you have a country that has these kind of gun laws, then you can expect these kinds of things to happen. But astrology will explain a lot. Hi, Nexodus. How are you? So this card is the infinite. Let's see what it says. It says the infinite, the eternal life force. These are the key words. Peace, cycles of growth. Oh my gosh, listen to this. Rising, rising from the ashes. Many deaths and rebirths. MINI. Many deaths and rebirths within one's life. You are so much more than your physical body. Oh man, she is so beautiful. I love this Lemuria card deck. It says the beings in Lemuria are said to have lived for many hundreds of years as they were only partially incarnated. Their bodies were much lighter, less physically actualized, and less affected by aging. They were also aware of their infinite nature. The Lemurians were multidimensional beings and regularly traversed realms other than the physical, including the places before and after death. As we become aware that we are so much more than our physical bodies, we may experience a sense of the eternal. Thus, fear around death gives way to recognizing new beginnings. So we remember what is real and focus on what we wish for this life. Whatever we believe will happen when our body goes back to the earth, we can live to the fullest while we are here in this incarnation. You may feel like you have led many lives and expressed different faces to the world. We can experience many deaths and rebirths as we allow outdated parts of ourselves to fall away. When we choose to align our lives with spirit, we may find we experience more of these many deaths. They can be daunting, but are fast tracking our growth to prepare us for the shining new chapter that beckons. That was hardcore right there. As one of my little mentees says, I mentor a homeschooler in learning how to do readings. I feel called out, is what she says. Ooh, that called me out. There was one other deck I wanted to use. Oh, there it is. So what did y'all get from that one? That one was all on my toes because that's where I am right now. Let me show y'all the cards that I pulled for myself today. I pulled this one, Denial. I pulled this one. I keep pulling almost like 2-3 times a week, Facing My Fears. And then the Crone. And we know the Crone is like, girl, you're going to need to get yourself together, okay? It's some many deaths that you're going to have to do. Resonates. Good. Good. Yeah, Peg. I already know. Wow. So, yeah, you know, that is a really interesting reading, given I feel a little bit down. Peg, how are you feeling? That's your state. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry. But I do want to check on everyone. But yeah, I wanted to make sure that, you know, we have something to focus on. It's like, what does this make us really think about? Number one, I still hold the position that fear is not the way forward. Like, I don't feel fearful. I feel sad. It's interesting. The other day I wrote about my homeschool journey, especially after my older son graduated, you know, the other day. It just made like all those years of homeschooling like so worth it. And one of the things I wrote was I decided to homeschool my kids because when, you know, in the early 2000s, that was when we started hearing about school shootings. Really was the late 19, you know, the late 90s or sometime in the 90s. But it just started becoming a little bit more prominent. And I was like, I don't want to send my kids to school because, like, yeah, school violence. I never imagined like this, like never in my whole life, never in my whole life did I think it would be so prominent. And even think to connect the planets to it, it definitely helps to make more sense about things. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I was like, I need to get on and talk because we don't want our subconscious, like our subconscious mind is going to be looking to make meaning so that we feel safe and okay. And so I was like, let me come on and talk about this. Um, I think one of the ways I heard one old astrologer say it is the planets don't impale, they compel. But I can tell you astrology can be used to predict some stuff. I really had planned on coming on today looking at the energy for this week. And my family is home, so I just got distracted doing some stuff with them for them. But yeah, that card, that was who is in the process of death and rebirth, symbolic death and rebirth. And how many of us are, you know, embracing that we are more than our bodies. And this is how we then begin to not be fearful. And, you know, it's like for me, I understand there's some higher intelligence. I don't always understand things are going the way that they are, but I know that there's a higher intelligence at work. And it helps to keep me from feeling like um, panicky. And also, you know, y'all, I've watched my mother die. That was my initiation into the mysteries of death. I never even thought about the fact that I'm a Scorpio. So, of course, that would happen to a Scorpio. Scorpio is about death and rebirth, actually. So, yeah, death is beautiful to me. I'm not in a rush. I want to continue to watch my children grow. I love this work that I'm doing. But I will say, you know, when we see things happening in the world, I'm not gonna lie, I do struggle sometimes with not feeling safe. But then I just double down on like my truth is there's an infinite wisdom at play. And so it's no need to be fearful. I just need to understand what is it that I'm supposed to do at this time. And I do think it's important to understand the power of women lighting their candles and sending out prayers of protection over all children. I actually pray for children all over the world every day. Um, and to pray for healing. And, you know, I'm just going to even ask y'all to take a moment, if you haven't or haven't, um, to send light and love to those souls, those children, that teacher, because that is a very tragic way to leave out. So we just send all of their souls light and love. And so one of the things that I've learned is as a priestess, a lot of times we do work that no one else is going to do. And I say all of y'all are priestesses, okay? And so we need to be making sure, and also the people in Buffalo, New York, also sending their souls. You know, I'm sure other priestesses have done this work on their behalf, but definitely sending them light. We send you light and we send you love. Go on ahead and go over to the other side, and may your soul, you know, may you recognize that your soul is untouched, although there may be some karma left in that body. Who knows? Who knows really what the whole story is behind why are these people the ones that end up in these situations? We don't know. But we do want to send them light and we want to send them love. Hey, Libra. Hey, April. Okay. Definitely Crone is on. Yeah, so on. Hey, Natasha. I just wrote about the same. Even though it feels challenging, I'm glad to have a sense of growth balance. Yes. Because Nexus, you know what? We're not the first people these kinds of things have happened to. or we witness, it's been a lot of humans that have witnessed a lot. And so it's part of the human experience to see the trappings. And it's actually a little bit weird when I think about it, because this is what I teach. This is what I have been taught, or like, this is what Spirit has shown me, that all of us are divinity incarnated. And the way this is set up is we have forgotten that we are divinity incarnate. And so divinity is just interacting with itself as it goes about. Like, it doesn't matter if it's a loving interaction, a neutral interaction, a harsh, mean, challenging interaction. It's just spirit meeting spirit. And it's just bizarre to me to think, like, it gets a little bit like, I don't exactly know what to think about this, but when I see it in my mind, I'm like, this was spirit who came and had this experience. Actually, the great divine, and I'm going to tell y'all, this was a mind trip when I first heard Ra'u Nefer Amen say this. But the great energy of the universe, it actually is neutral. It does not really have, like the way a lot of us have been taught about divinity, all this love for us. Its energy is just like law and pure potentiality. And it's itself. I mean, like, come on, y'all. Do I sound super weird? It's itself. And it's like, okay, itself murdered itself today. And now the soul is different. The soul, it's these people's soul, these little baby souls, the teacher's soul, the people up in Buffalo, all over the place. Oh, thank you. I appreciate, that's my brother, y'all. Oh my gosh, I love my brother so much. Thank you, Money. But, or maybe that's Delilah, his wife, watching through his channel. But yeah, their souls, there's probably some karma that they will have to, hey Courtney, that they will have to reckon with what has happened to them. But honestly, on the highest level, divinity was like, well, this is how I'm going out. Or, it's like, okay, this is how I left. And it doesn't think anything. It's divinity. Come on, y'all. It's like the highest in form of it's created all of this. It created the planets and the stars, or all of this extends out from that energy. And so, I don't know what I'm really talking about. I do know what I'm talking about, but I think I'm just saying, when I think about it on the highest level, it's actually a little bit strange. I just love my brother so much. Delilah, okay. Yes, tell her I said hello. That's my sister-in-law and my brother. Did I miss anybody? Hey, April. Okay. Holding space, yes. And the shooters are so young. It speaks to the mental health too. I agree, Eileen. I do. And I mean, if I'm being honest with y'all, outside of the shock and sadness, the very next thought was, I think that this is what is going to be something to help start turning things around in the United States. And you would think it would have been what happened in Florida. But yeah, we'll see. Mars is moved on. It's in Aries. It's doing its thing. But we got a lot of stuff that we're gonna have to make a comeback from or address. So this is from the Starseed Oracle deck that Eileen gave to me for my birthday called, so this is for all of you and me, hashtag replay queens and brothers. Okay, soul gifts and training. It's time to step up. Now, see, that's not my words. I think violence will change when the relatives of powerful politicians lose their lives. Yeah. And the other thing I thought about too, Money. My brother's name is in fact Money. Is when like Abbott will be hated. The governor. This is a very bad look for him because everyone knows he's one of the ones. Yes, Peg. He's one of the ones that would love to have limited gun. I don't even know if he's said much about that, but it's going to be a bad look for him for sure. So when they start losing. Okay, so let's read what this says. Called, you came to earth with a double mission: to grow as a soul and to bring about a shift in consciousness. The best way to fulfill these personal and collective purposes is to trust what it is that your soul is calling you toward, for it's encoded within the most direct path forward. Now, y'all already know that's what I am constantly saying, that we need to be focused on our destinies. Your soul has many unique gifts that it came here to share. You may already be aware of others you're just beginning to uncover. You're being called to remember that your soul intelligently chose the perfect conditions to carry out your soul's mission and share your soul's gift. I would love to know, what does that mean to you today? What does that mean to you today? If you're being called toward a creative project or passion or an adventure, this card is your confirmation that you're facing the right way and that this moment right here is destined. If you're feeling underprepared or thinking, who am I to do that? This card is guiding you to step up and leap, and consider perhaps that your soul has been training for this moment right here for lifetimes. How do we say this? You were born for such a time as this. Okay? So, you're being called to remember that your soul intelligently chose the perfect conditions to carry out your soul's mission and share your soul's gift. So, I really would like to hear from you all on what is it that you're supposed to be doing right now? What kind of impact are you supposed to be making? How are you supposed to be showing up in the world? One thing I want to bring in, and if you get my newsletter, I kind of spoke to this, is we're in a retrograde season. And so being in Mercury retrograde, there's a few other planets that are retrograde and some going retrograde soon. Seems like Jupiter is actually going to go, no, not Jupiter. Saturn. I think Saturn goes retrograde at the end, like this week or something. But this is a time for us to be like, if you are not properly using your gift, then it's time for you to maybe go back and start studying and, like freshening up your skills or how you're going to apply it. This could be a good time, like, it's always about finishing something with the retrograde. But Mercury is about skills. So Mercury retrograde, well, right now it's in Taurus, so that might have something to do more with like our money or like taking care of ourselves, our food, something like that. All depends on the house. But for sure, Mercury is about skills. So maybe it's money skills. Like some of us need to be working on that. But I really do think that it's a good time for all of us to be focused on, like, okay, what do I need to do to show up in the world? What is it that I need to do? To me, it's always about, what is your destiny? That's it. That's all we're doing. You're either taking yourself to the next level in terms of applying it. Maybe some people might be at that point because it does take a little while to like understand it, get to know it, and figure out exactly how you're going to express it in the world. But this is such a good time to be really looking at how are you applying your gifts and talents in the world and in a skillful way. Time to start living in your truth and focusing on your destiny. Asheo. Wow, being in the right place at the right time. Exactly. I never thought about it. Cultivate. Courtney says, bringing joy and beauty through relationship with the earth and cosmos for myself, which inspires others to live in their joy. I love that. So I think sometimes people get it wrong in thinking that we have to do something big. I always tell people you don't have to go Oprah. You do not have to. You could do Colby, not Kobe. Colby. Colby. Uncle Colby. All right. Kobe. That's my husband's uncle. And Uncle Kobe moved in with my in-laws, and he was in a wheelchair because he lost both of his legs due to alcoholism and his health going downhill. Never heard him complain one time. But they had built this deck in the front with this ramp. And so when Kobe moved in with them, because he had a wheelchair, so Kobe would wheel himself out the house and sit on the front porch year after year after year. Kobe would sit out there and smoke and smoke and smoke. Kobe smoked till the day he died, okay? And whatever it was, he lost his breath when he died. So Kobe was like, whatever, you know? But I didn't realize, like, we did sort of know when Kobe was out there, like, people would come and wave, and he would wave back at them, and he had conversations with people. They just started loving Kobe. They would come and leave gifts for Kobe. Like, if they had, we live down here in South USA, and folks have chickens and stuff, so maybe they're going to bring them something from, like the chickens, or bring them something from their garden. Who knows? So Uncle Kobe died, and what ended up happening was people started missing him, and they would come to the front door of my in-laws' house and be like, where's Kobe? I don't see him. I haven't seen him. Like, you just see him break down crying. Some people going to be Uncle Kobe. Some people going to be Oprah. Whole lot of people going to be somewhere in between. Uncle Kobe used to drop some massive gems. So I'm just saying, it's just important that you show up. If you are on the smile committee, go out there and smile for people. You might work a job that, pays you 8 to 5, 11 to 7, whatever. You go home and, but while you at work, you smiling at everybody. While you at the grocery store, you smiling at everybody. Maybe you post inspirational things. Like, for the longest time before I was really like saying, this is my work, this is what I do, I go back and find posts from 13 years ago sometimes on Facebook. I'm like, whoa, I wrote this 13 years ago. I'm like, ooh, past Tirra was setting future Tirra up. It's a lot of graphics that y'all been seeing here lately from when I was just, it's like, I love inspiration. I share it. I don't, whether I make money or not, I'm going to be somebody who wants to inspire people and give them hope, or give them something that helps them to just keep going for a little while longer. That's something that I do no matter what. And so, maybe it's something like that. But the main thing is, or maybe you're supposed to sing. Let me talk to some of the artists, because y'all be tripping for real. You just got to do your art. Maybe one day some of y'all will find out how to make money. Maybe you'll move someplace where folks appreciate artists and you can make a living being an artist. I don't know. I just know every artist who's not doing their art, they're not happy. You know why? Because they're supposed to be doing their art. So, the fitness instructors, or people who have a calling. Remember I pulled the card. who are called to minister to the elders who are in the nursing homes, or to love on children. There's a lady who used to take my African dance class, and I saw her video today. Like, sometimes we go in, she would bring in, my African dance and drum group to perform for her students. She's the music teacher at a local elementary school, and she had somebody record her today while she was doing the end of the year concert. It really touched my heart because I saw that right after hearing about these other babies out in Texas. And I was just like, this woman is a light to the world. This is a school teacher, so we already know she's not making a lot of money. She might be doing decently, but this woman is probably not making six figures, okay? But that's her calling, is to teach music to children in school. And those kids are impacted. Like, I'm just like, I don't even know. I remember actually my music teacher, Miss Anderson. I was like obsessed with Miss Anderson. I was so obsessed with Miss Anderson. We need the artists to show up and do what they're supposed to do. Who have I left out? What are you supposed to be doing? What's your calling? So Peg says inner child healing, starting with me and my family and kids. Love that. Realizing the journey I have to take to get to the vision I was given by Spirit. It's done. Ashe, oh Peg. I love that so much. So I would say my smile is not much, but people always compliment my smile. Okay. Who, according to whom, is it not much, Natasha? I just did a little coach reframe for you. According to whom? Because apparently people are complimenting you on your smile. So y'all, let's all give it up for Natasha and her beautiful smile. Follow my path. Nice, Rachel. As well as energy clearing, I have been destined to hold space with a compassionate heart filled with light, tapping into guiding people through the emotions they are afraid to experience. That is so good for you, Peg. Peg. Like, I know your astrology. That is so good for you. And this all starts with motherhood for me. Yeah, motherhood. It is my spiritual path, even now. My children keep me on my A game. Women and children for you. So, yes, Peg, beautiful. And so the main thing to do when we are working on our destiny and seeking to bring it to life is action is required. Action is required. In my three-part goddess framework, one of the things I talk about is action. The first one is awareness, the second one is alignment, and the third one is action. You have to have a mix of all of those three in order to manifest that destiny. And make sure you understand there is no perfection that's needed. It's best just to move forward messy and figure it out as you go. Because let me tell you, you'll figure out what works and what doesn't work real quick, fast, and in a hurry. So did anything happen April 5th? I have one more thing that I'm going to read, actually. But, yeah, okay. I'm just happy Venus is doing her thing. Let me see here. So also, y'all, before I keep going, I do want to invite you all to this retreat. I always say, if you think my lives are good, you ain't seen nothing till you got into me with the retreat. And y'all know I'm an entrepreneur, a solopreneur. So I have to talk about what I'm doing. Otherwise, y'all won't know. And yeah, so if you go to my website, goddessbodymindspirit.com, you'll be able to get to this page to learn more, as well as to register. And as you can see, I be bringing the medicine, baby. It's really the mothers, my guides. So I hope that you will join me this Friday. And if you can't make it live, it's okay. You could just watch the replay. I am definitely doing another hypnosis track. and a meditation that goes with it. You get a journal guide, a moon journal guide, and what else do I put in there? Well, the actual retreat is amazing, but my main goal is to make sure that everybody is set up for success moving forward from their Geminian house, which all of us are doing something new in that Gemini house, but also to help you cultivate or create your goals, your intentions in a way that your subconscious mind will wrap around it. That's what my work is right now. And I'm going to tell you, I did not know this initially. I just had to keep going and realize, ooh, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, this looks good. Or, I've participated in other people's programs and I'm like, ooh, I want to bring that to my community. Action. Action is required. But my goal is to make sure that you all don't just consume content, and instead that you all have tools. Like I want y'all to say in a year, I'm further ahead, way further ahead than I was when I finished. So that's what the quite frankly, the retreat is about, as well as the hypnosis, the mindfulness tracks, is all to help make sure you actually do get things done, that you move forward in whatever the astrology is indicating for you, okay? So let me tell you what this says. Okay, I'm going to hold this card up, and I want you to imagine that this card is here. I'm going to hold this here for all of us, because it says, place the card on the portal of your heart and whisper the following. So I'm doing this on behalf of all of you. I call forth the soul gifts and soul training that I've received throughout all my lifetimes. Call it forth, sisters. Call forth soul gifts and soul training that you have received throughout all of your lifetimes. Call it forth. I'm ready to embody all of them now without hesitation or fear. And I know it can be scary, but you were born for such a time as this. I fully commit to being here now. I'm ready to step into my soul's highest and most potent calling. I've been training for this for lifetimes. Lifetime, sisters. We've been training for this. Dancing, working with people. Nice. I love that, Natasha. I love that. Did I miss something? Yes. Okay. Spiritual guide and helping those. Okay. So Eileen is saying she is being called or has been called to be a spiritual guide in helping those with grieving and loss. Ooh, we need Eileen right now, baby. Yep, lifetimes. We've been training for this moment for lifetimes. That's awe-inspiring, don't you think? It's true, though. It's actually the way of the Sacred Feminine Mysteries. Once I went through that initiation, I began to realize just how many different lifetimes are connected to this one, and I have brought in gifts from those. Think about that South Node that we talked about in the video the other day that I made. That the South Node represents things you've mastered from other lifetimes. So yeah, we've been working on this for a lifetime. So we may as well do it. Ashe. We may as well do it. All right. All right, y'all. I'm not going to stay on too long because I really pushed myself in April. And by the end of the month, I was like torn up. So I'm going to go on ahead and get off. I'm thirsty and I'm sleepy. And so I need to drink some water. And I'm getting ready to go to bed. I agree, Eileen. It's amazing to see your past lives incorporating into this one. It is true. Have other people experienced that? I would be interested to know. I'm going to go on ahead and create the live stream tonight. But I'll be back in the morning. Hey, Miss Cindy Jones, how are you? Thank you all so much. Thank you. And I hope that you all, again, just please consider coming to the New Moon Retreat. You will love it. You will love it. I will take good care of you. It's not a whole bunch of me talking at you either. It's experiential, it's cleansing, it's purifying. You're welcome. Love y'all. Huh? But yeah, look for me in the morning, okay? Talk to you later. Peace and love.